Hey there, welcome to episode 3 of the complete 8-phase 45-day 10K challenge. What this means is together, me and you, we're taking a product from not knowing what to sell at all on Amazon FBA, which was episode 1. So if you haven't seen that yet, go back to episode 1, episode 2, and then join us on episode 3. And we're going all the way up to $10,000 of revenue a month on Amazon FBA. And the amazing part is that you can follow along with this YouTube series and see transparently what I'm doing to get this scratch map. We're selling a scratch off map together, all the way up to $10,000 of revenue a month within 46 days and only a $4,000 budget. So you can copy along, take every step that I'm taking at home for yourself and replicate these results for yourself and change your life financially. So this is an incredible series. I'm really excited to bring it to you and help change your life. We've changed hundreds of people's lives who's been through this series before you. So make sure you're taking action along home to actually get these results. Now, you can see we're up to day 7. Once again, if you haven't been up to day 7, go back to episode 1 and this will all make sense to you. But day 7 here, we've found our product in episode 1. We've improved our product, making sure it's an amazing product that people really want and it's better than the competitors. So we're not just getting drowned out by another generic product where there's thousands of them and none of them are making money. And now we're into phase 3, which is quite a fun phase. It's a little more monotonous when you have to go through it yourself, but it's worth the push because this is where most people drop off. Once they find their product, finding their supplier, making sure they're trustworthy, making sure they give you the best price, making sure they're quick and consistent. That's what you need in a supplier, and I'm going to show you exactly how to get that today in episode 3. So I want you to pay attention real quick because I'm going to go through exactly what we're learning inside this episode, and you need to understand from a bird's eye view first in order for it to make sense while you're watching it. So we're going to actually be skipping over a couple of days. We're going to go to day 8. You can see, you can match these colors up here. So find the supplier that you got this little bluey green color. You can see that's 7, 8, 12, 13, and 17. Because these phases, although they're nice and in order here, when you're actually launching this product, they're going to be a little bit muddled up. You may have to create a listing as you're finding a supplier. You can see as we did here. And then you may have to get your reviews as you're launching, as you can see we did down there. But they're not one after another, and they will be a little bit back and forward. So the key for what you need to know before we launch into today is we're going to do 3 things. We're going to start at day 8. And inside day 8, we need to take what we did in episode 2. So getting a great graphic representation of our product and exactly what we want. And we need to get that in front of the right factory that's going to be able to produce it for a cheap price, reliably and quickly. And trustworthy is the 4th one there. And then once we do that, we fast forward to day 12. So it took me 4 days from posting this, and I'll show you what you need to post to in order to attract these suppliers, to getting the perfect response and working with one of these suppliers that reached out to get an invoice and a quote for our order. We'll be going through that quote and invoice together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to day 17, where we got the supplier to send us a sample of our brand new scratch off map, which is going to be the top selling scratch map on Amazon.com. And this is the first ever copy of it that our supplier has created from our personal designs, what we mocked up together. And I'm going to go through that with you, show you what I like, show you what we don't like, and what we're going to change before we put in the big order, and get that all shipped into Amazon so we can start making money on this thing. So those are 3 things we're going through today. That's finding the supplier, negotiating with the supplier, and then getting our first sample. And what you're going to see is because there's some create your listings between day 7 and day 18, we're actually only up to day 7, but because we're skipping forward a little bit, because I want to make sure this is in the sections that make the most sense to you, as logical as possible. You may see our listing on Amazon already, and you may see a couple of other designs that we've mocked up in the past time, but you haven't missed anything. That's all going to be coming to you in episode 4, Create Listing. So just be aware that you may be seeing some things that you haven't seen yet in this series. But I'll make sure that you're filled in on that in episode 4. So that's all we need to know. The last thing you need to do is to take action alongside with me. Please don't just watch along and not take notes or take action. It's really important. We've had hundreds of success stories from this series, and that's not an exaggeration. We've had hundreds of people posting in our Facebook group about how they're making $10,000 or more a month on Amazon using this series that you're watching right now. And these are not the people who just watched long. We had hundreds of thousands of people watch this series, but only hundreds of results, because the people who take action are the ones that get the results. So please make sure you take action. Without further ado, let's jump into day 8 and start reaching out to our suppliers to find a nice, trustworthy one to supply our scratch map. We are on Alibaba's website. Now, we walked through this yesterday together and had a quick tour of it. Today, we're actually going to start taking action and reaching out to our suppliers in 2 different ways. The first one's by far the most powerful way, and it's called the RFQ, which is, you can see down here, you submit this RFQ, or you tell everybody, you put a listing out, basically what we want, and then all the suppliers are going to search for that, see that, and contact us, and then we are going to accept the best supplier from them. That's the first way we're going to do it. We'll do that together first. You can see I've actually just signed in. I've signed up with a brand new account. It's not even verified. You don't need to verify. You don't really need to do anything except for create an account, and then click on to get to that page. One request, multiple quotes up here in the top right. So give that a click, come down to try now. All right, so what is the keywords of the product we're looking for? Now, these are really, really important, because this is how the suppliers will be searching these listings. And if there are suppliers, for example, who sell scratch maps, they're going to be looking at these listings under the keyword scratch map or scratch off world map, whatever it is, the main keyword, that's what you want to put here. So scratch map is a pretty, you can see they're also going to give you suggestions. And again, the most popular ones are going to be at the top, so definitely go with that. So I'm going to go with scratch map. You can see how on the side here, it's rating how good our listing is over here. So we'll keep an eye on this and make sure we submit an excellent one so that we're getting the best offers and the most offers possible. All right, how many pieces? I've worked out how many pieces I want. It's going to be about 500, and that's based on my budget. So you're going to have to, this doesn't have to be exact, remember, and everything here doesn't have to be exact. We can work back and forward with all the suppliers, changing anything you want. So don't feel committed to what you put here. Just put down roughly what you calculate you need based on your budget. And okay, so this is where we put in all the text. So here is a supplier template that Evan has created for you. And it's a little bit complex for exactly what we need today, but it covers. So this template is in the YouTube video description for you. I'm not going to go through me editing it fully right here with you. We have more important things to focus on, but if you want to click the link in the description, it'll link you to this template that you can customize and put in your own RFQs. Cool, let's get back to it. Much shorter than the template, because once again, you can cut as much as you don't need. Paste that in here. Okay, so the most important thing, remember, is that graphic that we got our graphic designer to do, and you got to upload that here now. So I'm going to come in and search for it. I called it the RFQ. There we go. Also, for those of you who don't know what RFQ means, and I didn't up until a couple of minutes ago when my dad told me that it meant request for quote, and he said to throw that in this video because it might be helpful for everybody, which I think it does. It makes a lot of sense. We're requesting for a quote. We're doing it in bulk so that a lot of people can message us at once. And that is my cat meowing at my foot. So we're going to upload that. The one thing I see here is that we have accessories. I didn't include that up here in the description up here. So I'm just going to come back in, and we would also like to include the accessories pictured below. So please let me know if that is possible. Now, like I keep saying, you don't have to be too specific in this request, and you don't have to be too specific in this text, because this picture is going to say the most, and you're going to have to go back and forward anyway. You're going to have to answer a lot of questions anyway, which is why I've got a WhatsApp number in here so that they can just message you on WhatsApp instantly, and you can go through exactly specifically what you want in each step of the way, or each number on the graphic. So other requirements, let's have a look. It's not too important. So I'm going to keep it up here and come up and put back in here. We would like our first order
of 500 units to be shipped by Air Express shipping to the USA. Is clear enough. Preferred unit price. So we've got up here, you can see we've got a rating of great, and if you put a unit price in, our unit price is going to be 6. You can see it's going to go up and push you into excellent. I don't want to put anything in here. I don't want to confirm that it's FOB, so I'm going to leave all of this blank so that we can talk to them on WhatsApp. We don't anchor them at a price that's too high, and we see what their first offer is. So even though it's not excellent, we're going to keep it at great because I think it's going to be better for us long term. Now, I'm not actually submitting this one right now because what I want to do is I want to come in and change my phone number and add a couple of details so that they can actually reach out to me. But I would recommend doing urgent request or extra quotes because it's so cheap. It's $13, and once again, it's an investment. The more suppliers that you reach out to us, you could be saving a lot of money in ordering from that supplier because they're cheaper or they're higher quality than the other suppliers. So I would definitely do that. Let's throw that into our expense calculator. If we go, not the expense, the investment calculator. So sourcing our product, $13 on the RFQ, which brings our total $179, and then submit that. And what you would see is you'll start getting quotes pretty immediately.
Awesome. So that is the best way that you can get in touch with a whole list of suppliers who are wanting to fulfill your product for you, make it for you, ship it into Amazon for you. There's a few other advanced strategies there included in the mentorship program, which includes live coaching with me. So check that out in the description of this video if you need to get more advice on that. But you will start receiving quotes just doing the RFQ, and especially if you boost it. So go ahead and do that for your product. You can see we've now done day 7 and day 8. Now we're jumping over to day 12 where I've chosen a supplier that I've liked that's reached out to us, and I have negotiated with them in order to get a quote for our product. So let's jump in here and see how much this product's gonna cost us and how much profit we can make based on this quote.
Now, you can see that we have our map here, we have our tube, so the packaging, we have wall pins, so we're putting 8 wall pins with each map, a scratcher, a little plastic scratcher that is going to scratch off the map, and then of course shipping. Our map price ended up being $3.20 US per unit. We're going to get 500 of them to start because we are on a $4,000 budget, and that's going to cost us $1,600. Now he's just included the tubes and the accessory prices inside that map, so it's $3.20 for all that. You can see down here what we've actually done is we have express shipping to New York, USA. That's where we got the quote for. We're going to be sending them directly to Amazon, so it might not be exactly New York, but it's going to be a similar price to that. 5 to 7 work days because it's express, which is really important. And that's going to cost us $1,550, which may seem like a lot up front, but I have talked about this before. We're going to be saving about 25 days of shipping. We're not going to have to pick them up from the port and get them to the Amazon warehouse, which also costs. Customs and taxes are much more efficient and cheaper. So to give you an idea of the price of getting it sea shipped and then taken to Amazon by a truck, which I would have to organize logistics for that, it would probably be about $900 to $1,000. So for an extra $550, we don't have to worry about any of that, and we save 25 days, which means we get 25 days of more sales. And I don't remember the exact math we did, but basically if we're making, say, $100 profit a day, we're making $2,500 over those days, which is going to by far cover that $600 extra expense. So we've been talking back and forward with the supplier, of course. A lot of this has been done ahead of time to make this series as efficient as possible for you. And we've come to the conclusion of $3.20 each. I'm actually going to show you the supplier conversation in a couple of upcoming videos, just so you can see how casual and easy it was and how much back and forward it actually took. Because like I keep saying, it does take a lot of back and forward with very, very specific questions about a very, very specific characteristics of your map or whatever the item is that you're selling. So I'll show you how I handled those in an upcoming video. But right now, all we need to know is the total was $31.50 US. So I put that over here in my sheet, which was sourcing our product. I bunched up the RFQ and barcode, so that's $18. 500 units, $1,600, and then the shipping, almost $1,600 as well, which again, we just went through that well worth it, and it's just factored into that price. We were budgeting on a $6 cost per unit, and I'm not sure exactly what it came down to. 31.50 divided by 500. Oh, forgot that equal sign, put that in there. $6.30, so pretty much exactly what we budgeted on. So $6.30, including shipping. That is straight into the Amazon warehouse, and that is, so equals, so I guess it's $31.50 because we just did that math. $31.50 in product investment, not cost, investment. So that brings our total. I don't know if you can see this, or my camera might be covering it, but it brings the total down to $36.54. Now there is one other thing I did add here, because the innovating on the product has also bumped up. You can see that I put $300 into product design, because we had our graphic designer do a lot of work, a lot of custom work, making this product as amazing as possible. We've gone through and handpicked custom colors. We've gone through and redesigned a map using a template to make it 100% accurate as possible. We have done 3 layers, so this will be the bottom layer of our map here. You can see we've thrown a logo in the corner. We've got our compass over here, a nice big custom designed compass. Oh, that's my cat falling out of a basket. And you can see it's really simple too. We've gone for a minimalist design. And then these colors were inspired by the One Deer colors, but they have been changed, and we've used different sorts of country labeling and fonts here, which we thought stood out really well. And this will be the base layer of our map, which means once the gold is scratched away, these will be the colors that show up. The gold will then go on top of this, which will be like this. Now this white space obviously won't be there, it will be black, but this will be printed directly on top of that colorful layer. Now this is all, of course, a really big file, and a lot of work has been gone into to hand do every single country like this. So we have our own design, and we're not just using a generic design that everyone else is selling. I think that's really important. And then over the top of this gold layer is this layer. I think actually, I'm not 100% sure. I think there's no names on this gold layer, and what they needed was a extra layer on top of that to print on the gold layer, so these names stand out from that. So they're the 3 layers that we got done. We also got the tube design done using the specifications that the supplier has given us. So you can see our barcode that we made is over here in the top right. This will go around a tube, of course. It's going to wrap around a metal tube, I believe. It could be a cardboard tube. We'll have to talk that out. As you see, we've got minimalist design written here, scratch off world map, we've got our logo, and then just in here, explore, scratch, and share. So it's a really cool little packaging. Again, minimalist, just black with a little bit of outline of the countries behind it, which I really like, and I think our designer did an amazing job of that. And I put that in at about $300 of work for her, and that brings our total for innovating on the product up to $350. Which brings the total, like I said, up to $3,654, which is a little bit higher than I would have liked at this stage, because that only leaves us about $346 of marketing. But I'm going to make it work with that for sure. There's a lot of ways we can do that cost effectively, and it's going to really challenge me to do that, which is going to be fun. We're not really going to need anything else paid for in the preparation of this launch. All the rest of this money, or the rest of this investment, will go directly towards the launch and getting the sales momentum going. And it'll be really excited. It'll be really exciting to show you how to do that. Basically, let's say we're going to charge $29 for the product. So it's Amazon FBA calculator. This is our new kitten that we got for Christmas. His name is Archie. He's super cute, and he's just hunting around over there, making a lot of noise while I try and record. So I'm gonna put him here so he doesn't disturb the piece. So let's find our product. It's gonna be Scratch Map. Okay, he's climbing on webcams. Get on the ground, Archie. And then we can just click on that landmass one that we've come back and looked at a lot of times. Item price. So the price will be, well, let's say $29.99. I want to eventually sell it for more than that, but initially to get off the ground, we'll be selling it for $29.99. I think ideally I'd like to get up to that $35 mark. So shipping to Amazon, I'm going to say 0 because we're going to factor that into the product cost, which is $6.30. We're going to calculate that, and it's going to tell us all the fees and how much we make per sale. So you can see the fees here are, the fees are, so total revenue $29. Seller fees is going to be $4. Sorry about that, Archie knocked over our lighting. So the fees were $4.50. And the difference between your fulfillment and Amazon fulfillment is, of course, Amazon is going to be warehousing and shipping this for you. And they handle all customer returns and everything like that. So we definitely want to do fulfillment by Amazon. It's also going to get us a lot of extra sales because people look for that little Prime logo in order to get that 2-day shipping. So $4.50 to sell on Amazon, and then fulfillment by Amazon, which is them actually shipping it. So this is a referral fee. This is like you sold on our website. This is what you owe us. This here is a fulfillment fee. So this is we will ship it to your customer for that price. So that's $7.70 up here, plus the $6.30 cost of product. So that is $14, which means we get about a $15 or a $16 profit per product that we sell, which is amazing. And it's a 53% profit margin, which is great because we were shooting for a 40% profit margin. So it's going to be 53%, which would bring us up to about $5,300 of profit a month, which is pretty incredible. That's, of course, about over $60,000 of profit every single year, which is a low-paying job. But it gives you the opportunity to replicate it and do it again and do it again. So it's an amazing extra $60,000 to be making on the side or as a starting amount of money. So that's super exciting to know that we will be making 53%. Plus, once we move our price up to where we want it to be, which will be on the double down, the $34.99, we can make up to 57%. Or $20 per sale, which is amazing because you can see how many units these guys are selling every single day. So even this guy in here is only selling 100 units a month. They're still making about $60 a day if they had that $20 price point, which they obviously don't. But if we were selling just 100 a month, we'd still be making about $60 a day, which, again, depending on your lifestyle, could be really, really helpful for you.
Awesome, so now that we have that quote, we now can go through our sample together that the supplier has sent us, which is really exciting because this has gone from not knowing what we're going to sell to having a physical product in our hands. But before I do that, I wanted to show you the difference between the series you're watching now on YouTube and the Amazon FBA mentorship program, which we're teaching over 100 people this year to make $100,000 or more in revenue on Amazon FBA this year. And I really want you to have the chance to become one of those people. So you can see this is the YouTube series overview here, where we're going through the 8 phases of launch in a very condensed, cut down version. You can see there's strategies in this video, strategies in the first 2 videos that aren't included in this YouTube overview because to fit the YouTube medium, we need to have shorter videos. We can't just have 25 hours of content here. But in the Amazon mentorship program, you'll get access to the full 45-day transparent launch. And I want to show you what that looks like. You can see I'm inside the product here, that mentorship program. There's 137 lessons in here. And at the very top of the training, this is the complete 45-day challenge. So you can see if you went through the episode 1 and you didn't find a product yourself, that's because you're missing these critical steps. There's a lot of extra tips and strategies and research that you need to know in order to launch your product without doubt that you're going to have success on Amazon. And you can see each one of these days, like we went through day 8 together in this video. So I go back to day 8, we had about 6 minutes of the video. Here you can see there's an actual extra 14 minutes of strategies and how to actually contact these suppliers. It's a whole other part of that, of how to get the best suppliers. This is all inside the mentorship program, which is additional content that your competitors don't have. And if you have this step-by-step transparent launch, you're going to exceed your competitors all the way up to the $10,000 a month with our product. Now this has already been done, and the success is already in this product. So you need to go and watch every single day. So to get access of all of this 46-day challenge, which you can see from this graphic, is far, far more than you'll learn in this YouTube series. So don't waste your time. If you're serious about your product and you have the capital, invest in yourself, invest in knowledge, invest in these strategies that your competitors don't have access to in order to make your product reach the level that ours will at $10,000 every single month. So you can see once again, the link is AMZ Mentor Program /YouTube. Now, what else we have in this mentorship program, if that's not enough, is we also have an 8-week advanced FBA training. So we can come back to our mentorship program once you have access, and you can see that's just one phase, that live launch. The 45 days of transparent launch is just one phase. You can see there's a whole other 8-week program where you get to go in detail, in depth with the logistics, the step-by-steps, all the questions that you have in your mind that aren't actually answered and you can't find the answers to, and just leaves you with a little bit of confusion and sort of hurts your confidence around launching your product on Amazon. Me and Evan go through here step by step and make sure we crush all these questions you have so that you are 100% confident in your product before you put your hard-earned money and your time into it. You can see we have the 6 secrets that you need to know and how to identify them when looking for what product you are going to sell. So you'll be able to validate if your product's going to be profitable before you even invest this money, invest that time. We have workflow examples, which is just me going through and finding winning product ideas with you for over 20 minutes, just finding idea after idea. So you can see the exact process that I'm using. Just watch over my shoulder as I find products that I've launched on Amazon FBA. You can see this is 8 weeks, and this 8 weeks is set out to be step by step. So at the right point in time where you're at, you'll be able to come in and click into the next week, and you'll be able to learn what you need to know in that week. Or you can watch it ahead of time too. You can just go ahead and get all the knowledge you need and then go back and watch it again as you need each step. So these are complimentary courses, all included in the mentorship program. So you got the second 8-phase advanced training on top of the 45-day, over 20-hour transparent launch. Now, if that's also not enough, what we also have is 8 weeks of mentorship group coaching. So I want to come over to a recording that I have of our group coaching calls where you can see, I'm just going to fast forward through this a little bit. Everyone jumps on. If you're shy, you don't have to put your video on. You can just turn your mic on and you can get direct access to myself and other coaches and ask us questions. Any question that you have around the training, around your specific product, around your specific country you're selling from, any of these questions that are in the back of your mind that are hurting the confidence and hurting the potential success of your product, you can skip the line, skip all this learning curve, skip all the mistakes that you're going to make, and just ask me, and I'll be able to tell you exactly what you need to do. So you can see we go through all the right softwares that you need. We go through my personal products that I'm actually selling right now that aren't the scratch map on Amazon FBA. I give you live updates on exactly what I'm doing with the most cutting edge strategies in these coaching calls. And these are once a week. You get 8 weeks of this. And you can see I'm going through my products that I actually sell. We go through Jungle Scout. We make sure that your questions are getting answered because I know everyone's situation, including yours, is unique. And you're going to have your own unique questions that you need someone that you trust, someone that you know is actually having success on Amazon and not just a random YouTube guru to actually answer these questions and clear up all these doubts that you have and make sure you have that confidence and that ability to take action because you know you're heading the right way and you're not making all the mistakes that 95% of beginners will make. Now, on top of these amazing 3 things, and this is the best program out there, I have no doubt, and I have so much confidence in saying that no one else is offering the type of training, the type of results, the type of mentorship and hands-on work that we're offering. You also get our personal resources, which is everything, all the softwares that I use and all the discounts that I've worked with these softwares to get, all the freight forwarders or the graphic designers. You get access to the ones that me and Evan and our successful students personally use. You get live interaction with us. So you can ask us in that Facebook group at any time, 24/7, any questions you have, and you get lifetime updates. Meaning, everything that you're learning now may be going out of style, may be getting old, and may not work at the time that you're launching the product. You may get scared because some new thing appears and you don't know how to take best advantage of it. We're going through things and features, and as Amazon's getting more crowded, we're separating ourselves even further. We're getting more and more sales the more time goes on, and we will show you with these lifetime updates that you get access to. Now, It's a no-brainer if you have the capital. Stop watching this YouTube series. Stop watching other random courses and other random gurus who aren't actually making money. Come and join our mentorship program. I'd love to see you inside. Once again, you need to go to amzmentorprogram.com/YouTube to get this offer. Make sure you go /YouTube to get the best price you can. We have a 100% money back guarantee in the first 30 days. So if you don't like it for some crazy reason, we don't want your money. We're not trying to, we make money in a lot of other ways than this, and this is not changing our life if you get in here. We want to change your life. We want to change your life financially. So make sure you invest in yourself and also want to change your life as much as we do. And then come in here and get educated. Know everything that I know about launching a product on Amazon FBA, and then you'll be able to get every result that I'm getting. Remember, we're doing 100 over 100,000 this year, which means we want 100 of our students inside this mentorship program to make over $100,000 of revenue on Amazon FBA, which will be on average about $40,000 of profit this year, and have that growing brand, be able to quit your job, be able to travel the world, do whatever you want to do. I want you to be one of those 100. We already have about 10 or 11. We're still adding them up. And if you want to see testimonials from this program, you can actually go to the Hall of Fame, which is learn.freedomformula.com/Hall of Fame application. If you want to apply to the Hall of Fame, definitely apply here. But you can see some incredible results for people who are making 6 figures a year thanks to the mentorship program and our training. So I won't bore you with going through each individual story, but you can come in here and you can see their advice. You can watch their success stories, and you can copy what they did in order to get the same results that they are getting. This is all the results from our training. These are all people we know and have coached. And I want your face to be here this year as part of the 100 people over $100,000. Which number is going to be yours? Could you be the 25th person this year to make over $100,000 after taking the mentorship program? Yes, you can. You need to believe in yourself. You need to get inside the mentorship program, and you need to take action. So I'm excited to see you on the live coaching calls. If you don't have the funds, totally understand that. I will give you the best free training that I can on YouTube. It won't be anywhere near as intensive or amazing as you can get inside the mentorship program, of course, but I will do my best to make sure that you are getting the overview of what you need in order to be successful on Amazon. So let's jump back into that and see exactly what our scratch map looks like and what the changes that we're going to make before we order in bulk.
I've ordered samples. These are in my Australian house. So I ordered samples to hear from the supplier, all included in the original cost. And the rest are obviously going to USA to be shipped into the Amazon warehouse. And I walked you through how to do that about 4 days ago now. So probably around day 13 if you are looking for that. We created a shipping label and shipped them into the Amazon warehouse. These are just the samples that have arrived here so we can see them and photograph them and make the photos for our listing out of them. So I'm just going to mute this. You can see this is the map, and I put this is about a credit card. It's a little Mikey's, like a little tram pass or a train ticket pass in Australia. It's the same size as a credit card, so you can see how big and nice the map is in comparison to that. Now, when looking at your sample, and when I looked at my sample, I'm looking for things that are wrong with it. So overall, I actually really liked this sample, and I thought I think we have a great product and the making of a great product. I'm just showing you how big this is with my hand. Yep, thumbs up overall. A couple of things, and I'll go to the next video while I tell you what my thoughts are. I think the colors aren't actually bright enough, / they're not actually printed as brightly. So if we look at Russia here, as they are in the listing. So you can see there's a nice pink here, and we put them side by side. Well, that's a darker. You can see one's a sort of deep red, and this one's a bright pink. And even though we gave our suppliers the exact color Pantone of the color that we wanted, / the color that was on Photoshop, it still seems to have printed a lot duller. Which initially I was like, oh, that's not good, because I think they don't have the capacity to print really bright. Maybe it's the technology that they use. But then I had a look at Iceland. You can see Iceland and the bottom of South Africa down here, and even Indonesia and Papua New Guinea. They're actually really bright. The yellows of Korea, they're really quite bright. And if we look at our map design, that's my dad. I'm just going to quit Viber. So no more I'll quit WhatsApp too, so you don't have to get pulled into my personal life. So here we are. Have a look at how bright on the design Papua New Guinea and Indonesia are. That's down just above Australia. Those bright greens, and then over to Iceland, you can see it's really, it's almost washed out in this photo. And where the bright pink and the bright blues in Europe are not as bright here, they're a lot more dull. And when it was washed out on the design, it's actually appeared really bright. So the very first change I'm going to make to this is to change these colors to match this photo. Now, this is one of the big points of this day today, day 17, is we are not halting production. We're not stopping selling maps just for a minor speed bump. Your first product doesn't have to be perfect. The listing should be amazing, but the product doesn't have to be 100% perfect. You're happy with it. Every single order we make is going to have changes and adaptations to our product. And that way, we're constantly building a better and better product every time we reorder, to the point where our competition just can't catch up, because every time we reorder, we make a slight improvement. Our colors get brighter, our map becomes a better quality paper, we have a different design, we have a different sort of color that they can choose with it. And slowly, we get so far ahead of our competitors, it's just too late for them to catch us, especially if they try and do it all at once, because we're doing incremental improvements. Because as you can see, it's never going to be, or it's rarely going to be exactly what you wanted, and you just have to push forward through that. And then talk to your supplier, talk to my designer, and put them in touch and be like, how can we get these colors on this map? Which is what I'm doing right now, well ahead of time, because we won't be reordering for at least a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, but they're already being put in touch. We're already going over new colors that we want. So that was the first thing, because we do also advertise that we got full true color. We want this nice bright color that stands out. So we really do want, also this is videoed a little bit in the dark too. This is more in the light. You can see it's a little bit brighter than that one. I'm just going to zoom in. You can see our logos down there, which we got designed really cheap. We got a little website down there. Not going to do much with the website for now, but maybe in the future, so I'll just put that on there. You can see Australia. You can see that the scratch actually comes off really easy. There's a little bit of residue left here, but it does scratch off really easily, and I think I'll show you that a little bit later. You can see all these colors. It's nice and simple, and I compare it to one of our competitors, which I've ordered and put side by side in an upcoming video. You can see it's a scratch. It's my left hand really awkwardly, but it comes straight off. This is our scratcher. So this is the second thing we want to improve. Is this is just a random looking guitar pick, and even though it scratches a lot better than the metal scratcher, which we also got and tested, some people do metal scratches, some people do plastic guitar picks. The guitar pick was at least twice as easy to scratch things off, so that's what we went with. But it's just a random rainbow color. We would really like, say, a jet black scratcher with our little Odyssey maps in white across the middle of it to make it look really trendy. You can see everything that you get with your sample, and I do recommend that you do get a sample, especially if it's the first time you work with your supplier. We ordered out products and the sample at the same time in interest of this series, to make it move quickly and show you that things don't have to be perfect. But I do recommend you getting a sample shipped to you. Samples I get a lot of questions about. They are going to be a little bit more expensive generally if you don't have a relationship with the supplier, or they're worried that you're not going to do business with them. It may be you have to pay express post because they want you to get as quite fast as possible, and then it'll be sometimes they won't actually send you your specific sample, so they might send you a generic world map or a generic scratch map instead of yours, because like we can't really load up the whole printer and print just one copy for a sample. And if they do, maybe it's going to be really expensive. So sometimes the sample can be up to $80 to $400 depending on what your product is, but most of the time it is worth it. And I have to recommend that you do it to be safe, so like a doctor's recommendation. But you can also not do it and take that risk. That's totally up to you and your supplier. Another way to do it that is potentially a cheaper way if you're on a really tight budget is to get them to make the product in their factory and then send you photos of the product instead of just sending you additional photos, instead of just having to ship it across the world and creating a custom one. That might also be good enough for you if you're on a really tight budget. So this one was our barcode. You can see I've printed it at the bottom of the tube, which I'll show in just a second. It's printed on, so it's not a sticker, so it's really easy. It's not going to fall off. It's not too much on a curve, because you're not allowed to put barcodes on real steep curves. This one's basically flat, because it's a decent sized tube. And you can see it's really clear and quite nice, just a glossy finish that's not too obtrusive for the product. And you can see up here this finish on the left hand side is not perfect, and I'll show you that in another video too. This is something I'm going to work with my supplier to fix, because the tube is very nice quality. The tube is super thick, quite heavily weighted, which is great for, not great for shipping, but great for like, you get it and oh, that feels like a quality tube. But the top of the map, the top of the tube here had like frayed plastic, as you can see. I'm going to be changing that maybe to metal ends, or maybe to just plastic ends that aren't frayed. And basically, I'm just going to send my supplier a photo of this. This is how I do it. I say, hey, how can we make the end of this tube not have plastic bits coming out? Can you do that? And he would say yes or no. It's like, can we change it to a different material? Can we do this? And you just work with him, again, slowly and consistently, to change things one by one. And I would introduce things one by one to him. I wouldn't say, hey, I want to change this, 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 and this. I'd go one by one, get a solution, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. And basically, it's going to take a little bit of time, but we're going to be selling them in the background anyway. So going back to this scratch thing, another small problem we had, you can see they misprinted our logo here. And he says that this was a printing error and they can fix it in the next one. Again, we have 500 units in Amazon, on the way to Amazon, that have this printing error, and it's totally fine by me. I'm not stressed out about it at all. It's a really small error. No one's going to be like, whoa, where's the O in Odyssey on the packaging? Oh, I'm going to leave a 1-star review. It's a very, very minor error, and it'll be fixed the next time. So it'll be 500 units, and then that'll be done with this error. And it'll be having our normal logo. I'm not stressed about it, and you shouldn't be stressed about small things. So this is our map. You can see it's really well printed on there. Nice shiny tube with our little call to actions at the bottom. You can see we've printed sort of like country outlines on the actual tube. And then I think I go into the top. Yeah, you can see the top a little bit damaged here because it overhung. And then there's some plastic bits coming out the top there. Opening it up, so I just opened it up. This is how it looks. It's coiled up there, obviously, and it's coiled with a tissue paper overlay. And the tissue paper overlay does two things. One, also you can see how nice and thick that cardboard is. It's a really nice tube. One, the tissue overlay makes the product seem more expensive because it's well packaged. It also protects the map from getting scratched during shipping. So there's two reasons for that, and that worked really well. I tried to take the map out, but just pulled the tissue paper and it just started ripping. So I can't really do that with one hand, but I was very happy with the tube. You can see it's actually quite a skinny tube, which is cool. You can get, obviously, cheaper post because of that. And yeah, I just have one more of, oh no, I had a couple more videos. So this is just the tissue paper, really thin tissue paper. That's pretty straightforward. I have a video of comparing my map to a competitor's map. Here we go. So this was a competitor's map. I can't remember the exact brand name that were found, and we just wanted to see if ours is significantly better, which I concluded that it was. I much prefer mine, and your opinion might be different, but I think in general most people will say that this is a much nicer design. It's much more simplistic, which we know people want because we went through those reviews, and it's less crowded and much better colors. So this color seems a little washed out. It's got little like emoticon things, which was cool. But you can just see like that Australia compared to that Australia. As is much more simplistic. Again, we want to brighten those colors up. Theirs, you can see, was a shiny back material, and ours is more of a matte finish, which I much prefer that matte finish. They get like a white trim on the outside, which I think cheapens it. Ours is a black trim. Theirs was much harder to scratch off. There's that matte finish I was comparing compared to that shiny finish. And then they have the flags down the bottom, which was a cool little addition, but I do think it just overcomplicates the entire map, and it adds a lot of space to it. I don't know if I got a zoomed out photo, but our map is also quite significantly bigger. So it doesn't look like it here because they got the flags on the bottom. But our map is quite a bit bigger and definitely much wider, and I really like that part of it. So the takeaway here is definitely feel free to buy your competitors' products, get them shipped to your house if it's in your budget, and look through them, see what you like about them, see what you don't like about them, see how they're packaging their items, see what they're doing that you can't see on their Amazon listing, and then be in touch with your supplier and say, hey, how can we replicate this? How can we replicate that? In terms of our samples that we got, I was super happy with our map sample. Let me know your thoughts on that map sample too. Comment below because I'd love to hear what you're thinking about it. It's super easy to scratch off, so I'm very happy to go ahead and start selling these 500 units.
Once again, if you've made it this far in the video, congratulations. You have the patience that you need in order to be successful on Amazon, so I have a lot of faith in you. Not many people do make it this far, and it does actually say something amazing about you that you're at this point in the video. If you want to get all the extra content, all the personal coaching, all the access to all the lifetime updates, and the actual step-by-step version of this series, remember, this YouTube series overview is so much smaller than everything you get access to inside the mentorship program. And congratulations to everybody I see signing up to that. I'm looking forward for you to joining the rest of us and changing your life financially. The link to that, once again, is in the description. Episode 4, we're going to be creating our listing together. So we're done the first 3 phases. Congratulations. Phase 4 is going to be exciting because we're actually doing some customer-facing things. I'm going to show you how to rank your listing #1 on the search results, how to use that SEO, how to increase your conversion rate using a couple of small tweaks that we use. That's all in episode 4, so I can't wait to see you there, and thanks again for following along.